everyone, it's Alex. The Black Tapes podcast is going on hiatus so we can wrap up production on the next few episodes. In order to help us get the rest of Season 1 finished faster, we've started a Kickstarter campaign for our podcast. For more information on how you can help support the Black Tapes podcast, please visit theblacktapespodcast.com and click on Support the Show at the top of the page. Thank you so much for listening.
Hey everyone, it's Nick here, producer. We understand you must be disappointed that the Black Tapes podcast is taking a short break. Believe me, nobody is as disappointed as we are. We did want to give you all 12 episodes at once, and that was our plan, but the time and financial commitment turned out to be a lot more intense than we could have ever possibly imagined. To be clear, we're still working on the show. In fact, we recorded some great stuff for episode 7 yesterday. We are definitely going to finish season 1 of the Black Tapes podcast, but we're going to finish it a lot sooner with your help. So while we might not be back with a full episode next week, we are working tirelessly to get the next 6 ready to go as soon as possible. Thank you so much for listening to the Black Tapes podcast.
The Strand Institute received a letter from a Black Tapes podcast listener. This one's from J.L. When I was an infant, my mom would often see these small, colorful orbs around me. They ranged in color. They would float and roll across my body and then disappear, almost as if playing. I could be anywhere, in my crib, on a blanket on the floor, in my mom's lap, and they would be there and nowhere else. At first she thought she was seeing things. At one point she thought they might have been fireflies, but quickly debunked that idea. But one day she walked into the room and saw my older sister playing with the orbs that were with me in my crib. Meaning, my sister saw them too, and it wasn't just in my mom's head. To this day, my sister still remembers playing with the orbs, like a casual childhood memory. Over the years, I've tried researching the strange phenomenon as logically as I could. I couldn't be the only person who experienced something like this, but have found nothing. Only stories of orbs and photographs and baby monitors, often chalked up to reflected dust and lighting. I found no stories of real, visible orbs surrounding one specific person and nothing else. J.L. The following response was forwarded to me with Jay's letter from Dr. Strand. J. Reports of floating orbs have been around since the advent of photography, and it should come as no surprise that before photographs, there was no recorded evidence of this phenomenon. Orbs in photographs are often interpreted as spirits, even though the most logical explanation is that they are dust particles catching the light. Your case is different. You claim memories of experiences with orbs in your youth. One explanation is physiological. A part of your eye called the vitreous is gel-like, and in some cases they liquefy, causing things called floaters in your field of vision. But your doctor would have diagnosed this early. The most obvious explanation, and I apologize in advance if this offends, is that your mother experienced these visions and convinced you that you experienced them too. Memory is not inviolate and is susceptible to false implants. Magical orbs do not exist. There is no hard evidence that they have ever existed. However, there is a whole field of research and data explaining how memory is fluid and easily manipulated. I don't mean to imply that anyone in your family implanted false memories on purpose. It's possible your mother truly believed she saw orbs around you. But the most likely scenario is that it was the strength of her belief that convinced you and your sister that it was a personal memory. Sincerely, Dr. Richard Strand. Jay, if you're listening, please don't take Dr. Strand's response personally. You listen to the podcast, so you know his stance on the paranormal. I myself have experienced certain things that I still can't explain, and I found your description of your experience beautiful and fascinating. Your memories are real to you, and in the end, whether or not you choose to accept Dr. Strand's explanation is also up to you. Thank you so much for your letter. If you enjoy the Black Tapes podcast, please rate and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you found us. Reviews are key to keeping the Black Tapes podcast on the charts, where people can find our show. Also, if you've experienced a paranormal event or have a ghost story of your own to tell us, please contact Dr. Strand at strandinstitute.com. Thanks again for listening to the Black Tapes podcast. I'm Alex Regan.